Today, we are looking at two brands that's embraced and rejected AI, but both in very clever ways. Let's discuss. Hello, and welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host, Chris Branch. This is the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear. Now, I've only got 10 minutes, so we can only focus on one subject. And today we're going to talk about one of our favorite subjects or series that we do on this podcast, and that's marketing examples. Here, we just look at some of the best examples that brands has been using Gen AI, whether it be good or bad, and we just discuss them. So we're going to talk about two today. The first one we'll talk about is from the brand Hellmann's. So Hellmann's, known mainly for mayonnaise, but that's kind of like how I associate them. What they decided to do a couple of weeks ago, as part of the Food Waste Action Week, they created an AI-enabled food waste tool to help households use up more of the food that they have in the fridge. Now, I don't know about you, but unfortunately, there's a lot of food that goes to waste in my fridge, which annoys me, especially if I haven't paid attention to the sell-by date. And I'm one of those people is that the day after the sell-by date is gone, it's in the bin. Like I can't eat after that. But anyway, the meal reveal tool, as it's called, allows people to scan the food in their fridge using the camera on their phone and then uses AI to identify the ingredients and match food to relevant recipes. The tool was designed by the brand in response to the issues of fridge blindness, which Hellmann's identify as a key contributor to household waste. So, Chris, what's your thoughts on this?
It's a great use of the technology, isn't it? It's one of the things that we've seen very popular inside GPT is its ability to do vision. So essentially this means you can upload a photo and it can understand what's inside that photo. And even, you can ask it to list things. You can say, what's inside this photo? And it will list all of the things it sees underneath as its response. So the fact that Hellmann's have seen this as something that they could showcase how versatile their product is very clever. I think I've seen Heinz do something with ketchup too. It's an AI recipe book, very similar idea. So it's interesting that they've both come out with it at the same time. I wonder who the agencies were that were behind doing it. But yeah, both are very, well-known, versatile products. Heinz ketchup, Hellmann's mayonnaise. They're the staples of every at least UK person in terms of what's on the table. HP brown sauce, where's their one? Basically
Exactly. Yeah, I think what they did is, and also I don't know if you remember when ChatGPT 4 was kind of announced, they were saying what you'd be able to do with GPT 4 is take a picture of your fridge and it will give you ingredients.
Yeah, that's kind of was like they used on stage, wasn't it?
The big example, and that was the one that most people were talking about. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so these guys have actually done it, and they've done what a lot. So we do a lot of research into different marketing examples, and we're seeing some of the best ones connected to do with some form of awareness week or something to do in the charity, not-for-profit sector. And this is kind of connected to do with that. Obviously, it's part of the awareness week here. And I really like the concept. I really like the idea. I'd love to find out how many people done it because that information's not out yet. But if we do find it, we'll let you guys know. We'll mention it on another marketing examples episode. But yeah, really like the idea. I can see that it can be done in many different areas as well, especially around mayonnaise. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan of mayonnaise. I do like mayonnaise if you mix it with ketchup. I do like that. But you were saying that there's many things you can make with mayonnaise.
Yeah, and talking of which, I use a service called Gusto, which is like a meal subscription thing. And that's actually very useful for not creating waste because they give you exactly the grams of the ingredients that each recipe requires. And they must have some partnership with Hellmann's because you get the official Hellmann's mayonnaise. It's not like, some imitation mayonnaise or something like that. They do Hellmann's. And it's in so many of the recipes for like the Asian dishes that I'm ordering, and I'm like, oh, you mix it with Goujon paste, and then you've got like Goujon mayo and all of these other things, and like even I I realized that pizza sauce is basically just mayonnaise, water, and oregano.
Oh,
It's
really?
those, yeah. So it's like you don't realize it because it's a different like
Yeah.
texture to mayonnaise, but they've just added like a little bit of olive oil if they're good, or it's probably some cheaper oil if they're crap, and then some cold water, and then you mix it all together with some like Italian seasoning, and you've got pizza sauce, and it's like, wow, it's actually the base of most of the sauces, and you don't realize it unless you're following a recipe potentially.
I wonder if. Well, I doubt there is some bias there. There might be a bit, but I'm sure they can kind of find a lot of stuff in there. And I think that I've
Mm.
not tried this one yet, but I'm definitely going to try it to see if it how well
Well,
it works.
here's another one. Like, for example, I didn't know that sweet and sour sauce uses Heinz ketchup in it,
Sweet
right?
and sour sauce kind of. What is this everywhere, or is this just for some
No,
right?
these are the recipes that I'm getting through Gusto. Is like
Oh,
it's actually tomato ketchup is one of the ingredients in the sweet and sour sauce, and like I had no idea that that even was the thing, prior to getting
mm.
these recipe cards, and then I realized, oh, I could have been using my everyday like household objects to actually make sauces. Your brain doesn't go there unless you've seen it written down, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
you,
wonder how deep these apps go into it. I wonder if they go into it that much deep
I
where you have to
don't
mix this
know.
with that. And but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Now, so that was the good one. Now we talked about a brand that's rejected AI or is rejecting AI, and this brand, and when I say it, it probably won't be a surprise, is Dove.
Mm.
So Dove, as more companies kind of experiment using AI, especially in commercials and advertising, Dove has actually said, right, they've pledged never to put AI generated models in any of its adverts.
Mm.
And they're doing this, coincidentally, to mark the 20th anniversary of the Real Beauty Initiative. And that is very much about using real, natural women to say, look, this is what beauty is. Because what they're trying to do is, and this is what they've said, they wanted to continue taking action to dismantle toxic beauty standards. And by vowing to never use AI generated imagery to represent women in any ads, it's kind of tying into their whole marketing campaign.
Mm.
So, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, no big shocker. Anyone that's followed Dove's sort of history understands that they are not only anti AI, but also anti internet almost. Like, they don't like social media and the fact that they have to pay so much in order to
Mm.
reach their fans and customers. And they made a big kicking fuss about this a few years ago and even said, look, we're taking all of our money out of these platforms and we're passing those things to the customers. And hopefully people appreciate this. And now they're getting a following this way. It's like, a complete, like, if we're playing Connect 4 right now, this is the fourth one in the row for Dove, with the anti like technology and internet and stuff, and just wanting to be for the local customers and representing local people. So it's fascinating, but also very obvious.
Yeah, I think it goes with, it makes sense. It goes with the whole initiative of the Real Beauty campaign. But
Mm,
the question I had when I first read this was, where's the line? You
mm,
know, what about obviously using AI for, it might change the background, or
mhm,
is it because
mhm.
they've noticed that they've said to generate models?
Yeah.
Is it just the actual people,
Didn't
or
say
is
touch
it?
ups, did it? It
Yeah, it
just
didn't
said
say
the
anything about like
people.
little touch ups of what's going
I
on.
noticed that wording as well.
But then also AI using for other things. So what if they
Mhm.
use AI to come up, like say ChatGPT or whatever Claude
Yep.
free, to come up with some of the copy or to help when it comes to
Yep.
this? It makes sense, but I actually think this is not dangerous, but they could backfire on
Mm.
them because we don't know where AI is going to be in 2, 3 years time. It might be
Oh
a case
yeah.
where we actually need to use it, and then people said, "Well, hold on a minute, you pledged 2 years ago that you would never in
Yeah.
capital NEVER, never use it, and now you are." That's a potential problem that they could encounter.
You make a really good point because it's everywhere and people don't even understand it.
Mm.
Every single platform, including Photoshop and Canva, and all of these have been based off machine learning algorithms and other forms of AI up until now. So to take a hard anti AI stance would be quite hypocritical in terms of they're using it just not to generate people.
Yeah, I kind of, part of me also thinks, I wonder if this is like a bit of the marketing. They're going to get a lot of like newspaper coverage and people online coverage about them saying they're against this thing that everyone's talking about, hence why we're talking about it. So I don't know whether or not part of it was to do with that, but I kind of, it does make sense connected to that particular campaign. But as I said, where's that line? Where's that line going to be?
Yeah, and in a nutshell, it's basically all brands are going to take a stance on AI soon.
Yeah, definitely going to see that one, especially this year.